I posted last week on Facebook, on the Facebook page, a short article by Greg Lehman on spinal flexion, or avoiding spinal flexion, or should we avoid spinal flexion? Should we? And it was done in I think the article was prompted by the Canadian Army removing sit-ups from their programme. And if you haven't read Greg's article, I definitely would recommend it. What I'm going to try and do here is just take out one or two points from it, so that we can have a quick look at those, and then maybe have a look at a couple of examples where we, how you might apply that in a sort of sporting situation, or a training situation. In the piece, Greg talks about, gives a case for flexion or maintaining a neutral, gives both sides of the arguments, maintaining neutral, or what happens when we do flex the spine. But in terms of it's a case for neutral, which is pretty much the prevalent one, and it does make a lot of sense. One of the things was he's talking about Stuart McGill, professor in Canada. He's probably one of the most the expert on sort of spinal biomechanics and things like that. And he's carried out quite extensive studies, all pointing towards generally avoiding repeated spinal flexion. The effects of spinal flexion tend to be cumulative. We all have sort of finite number of cycles that we can go through before we may not get injured. It's not as hard a case as you will definitely get injured should you do this, but and it will vary from person to person. Maintaining a neutral position reduces the anterior shear on the vertebral unit. It improves the compressive strength of the disc and vertebral unit, and it's generally quite good in terms of if you're looking to maximise your ability in hip dominant movements. It's really the way to go. So if you're thinking of cleans, snatches, or the weightlifting movements, even deadlifting, you really want to maintain as neutral a spine as you can. That said, Greg points out that the neutral spine doesn't protect you from all injuries, and such as disc herniation and end plate fractures can still occur in neutral position. So it's not you maintain a neutral spine and you won't get hurt. Like anything, there's no hard and fast rules on these things. Also, if we look in terms of the case of not so much for flexion, but flexion is unavoidable in our daily tasks. It's unavoidable in sporting situations. And there are plenty of sports where there is a flexion bias that don't show signs. There are no signs of any increased injury rates to the lumbar spine as a result of this. Also, a flex spine is metabolically more efficient in terms of being able to maintain it more easily. It's just it's an easier position to maintain, and has been associated with an ability for greater force output. That said, if we come back to the fact that the effects of repeated spinal flexion is cumulative, you may well get injured as a result of it. It's probably better when we are training to look towards our training to be biased towards maybe a more neutral position. Certainly would be the position I would take, that when we're training in the gym we want to maintain a more neutral position, and as such we get ourselves stronger and we allow the flexion to occur. And your spine should flex, it's designed to flex. It's not something we should be going out of our way to avoid, trying to be as stiff as a board as you're going about your life. simply that when we're looking to get stronger and especially getting into higher load activities, neutral position, it's going to be better for you in the long run. Well, I'm saying that, it's never, should never be quite so black and white. But it would certainly be how I would point anybody, certainly anybody in the clinic when we're doing rehab work, we will look at their ability to maintain neutral, but also their ability to move well, and moving well will include comfortably flexing the spine. If we look at it in our training environment, the classic one in terms of in the gym might be a hip tuck or butt wink when you're squatting, where the spine does flex under load as we come down into the bottom position of the squat. Now this can be as a result of any number of things, from just how you are built anatomically, to various muscles not having required resilience, elasticity, which are probably trainable factors, whereas the anatomical ones aren't. But if we're getting this hip tuck occurring certainly above parallel, most people, it's likely that we can work on soft tissue strategies, be these some quick fixes that we might do within the clinic that aid it, along with movement training to be done on a regular basis, which can be built into warm-ups, done regularly through the week until such times as the person can then maintain as neutral a position as they can. But once you get to the full squat position, there's every chance you're not going to be able to avoid spinal flexion at all. Just as you get right down to the ass to grass squat, as they say, you're going to get some hip flexion occurring. You're not likely to maintain a neutral spine, and in fact, one of the studies was showing that there is something like 40 degrees of flexion through the spine when we're squatting, even when we're looking to maintain neutral. But then if we are in another situation where it might be say a rugby player, maybe a prop, he's coming to the end of the game, it's 70th minute and it's a scrum time. Now earlier in the game he's maintaining as neutral position as he possibly can, quite comfortably, but he's getting through the game, it's been a hard game, 70 minutes in, down 10 minutes left on the clock, he's tired. The chances of him maintaining neutral in contact as the two scrums come together is very low, especially when you consider that it's a really dynamic situation whereby he's got to absorb impact from the opposing props. He's being pulled in by the hooker, he's got second row and wing forwards behind him, and he's got to adapt to forces coming in several different directions. So the chances of him maintaining a neutral position by that point in time in the game are very, very slim. But if he's strong enough and has developed good bracing strategies, and practice skills well, he is able to adapt to this. The fact that he flexes somewhat isn't really going to make any difference. So what does this all mean? It probably means that don't be scared of spinal flexion. It's going to happen. It happens regardless of what we do. It's probably better to do all our trunk work with looking to maintain a neutral spine as much as we can, looking to resist movement, or maybe more so than create movement. When we're deadlifting, pulling, squatting, again looking to maintain a good neutral or as neutral a position as we can. It's better for accepting force and transferring force. But at the same point in time, when it comes to your activities of daily living, or the sporting environment, it's not something that you should really be worrying about too much. Kind of get in there, get about your life, and enjoy your sport.